3,500 years ago, an Egyptian scribe followed his king to war, and wrote down what he saw. Because of him, this is the first battle in human history we can actually reconstruct. The scribe's name was Tjaneni. He recorded the campaign day by day, and his account was carved onto the temple walls at Karnak, where it survives to this day. Every earlier battle is a rumor or a legend. Megiddo is where military history begins. In the 23rd year of his reign, the Pharaoh Thutmose III marched north to crush a rebellion. For years, Egypt had ruled the lands of Canaan. Now the city-states there had stopped paying, and stopped kneeling. A coalition of Canaanite and Syrian cities had risen against Egypt. At their head stood the king of Kadesh, and he had gathered their armies behind the walls of a single fortress that controlled the road between empires, Megiddo. At the town of Yehem, Thutmose halted and called a council of war. 3 roads led to Megiddo. 2 were wide and safe. The third, the pass of Aruna, was a narrow gorge where the army would have to march single file, horse behind horse, men behind men. His officers begged him to take a safe road. In the gorge, they warned, the enemy could ambush the front of the column while the rest of the army was still trapped miles behind. Thutmose refused, and swore an oath that his scribe recorded word for word. He would take the road of Aruna himself, at the front. Any coward could take the easy way. It was a staggering risk. But Thutmose had guessed correctly. The king of Kadesh had done the sensible thing. He had blocked the 2 obvious roads and left the deadly pass of Aruna almost unguarded. It took the better part of a day for the Egyptian army to thread through the mountains. Not a single arrow met them. The Egyptians spilled out onto the plain, exactly where the enemy least expected them. Perhaps 20,000 men against a coalition of similar size. Thutmose, disciplined even now, did not attack piecemeal. He waited through the night for his whole army to gather, and camped by a stream called the China Brook. At first light he formed his line of battle. He stretched one wing northwest of the city and the other southeast, across the brook, a great crescent that threatened to swallow the coalition whole. Thutmose himself took the center, riding, the Annals say, in a chariot of electrum, of gleaming gold. Then the Egyptians charged. The coalition line, threatened on both flanks at once, broke almost immediately. The Canaanites abandoned their camp, their horses, and even their chariots of gold and silver, and fled in blind panic back toward the safety of the city walls. And here the Egyptians threw away a total victory. Instead of chasing the broken enemy through the gates, the soldiers stopped to plunder the abandoned camp. By the time the looting was over, the coalition leaders had escaped inside. The people of Megiddo let down knotted ropes and clothing and hauled their princes up over the walls to safety. A battle won in a morning now became a siege of 7 long months. Thutmose ringed the city with a wall and a ditch of his own, a wall he named Megiddo, the Encircle of the Asiatics. Nothing could go in. Nothing could come out. When Megiddo finally surrendered, the rebellion collapsed with it. The Annals record the spoils with an accountant's precision: 924 chariots, more than 2,000 horses, 200 suits of armor, and vast herds. Taking this one city, the scribe wrote, was like the taking of 1,000 towns. Megiddo was the first of 17 campaigns. Thutmose III would push Egypt's power farther than any pharaoh before him, all the way to the Euphrates, and later generations would call him the Napoleon of Egypt. It all began on a road his own generals had begged him not to take. Next time, we move forward in the chronological story of war, to the chariots and the collapse of the Bronze Age itself. Subscribe, and march with us through history, one battle at a time.